This is a special edition of On the Agenda. Hi, I'm Bill Osmond, City Manager. Welcome to today's program. If you've watched On the Agenda during the past year, you know I normally have a half-hour program. I may do a monologue, then have one or more guests on the program. Today, though, it's a little different. We'll have a longer program, and what I'll be doing is basically introducing two separate video segments that City TV has prepared, both of these being on transportation. In my previous On the Agenda program, we talked about several transportation topics. Two of those were the Bright Star Road Connector and the City of Douglasville Comprehensive Transportation Plan. Now, we'll start today's program talking about the Bright Star Road Connector project. And on Tuesday, November 18th, a group of city officials, representatives from the construction company and the engineering company for this particular project, and several other people gathered and actually had a groundbreaking ceremony to symbolize the start of this very important project, which will be on the north side of I-20, a connecting road, multi-lane, between Bright Star Road and Highway 5. And we believe this will be a way to alleviate traffic congestion, especially on the interchange area, I-20 and Highway 5. We feel like that this road is just another way to make traffic move better and safer in the city of Douglasville. Now, I was not at the groundbreaking. Actually, it was my birthday. I'd taken the day off, and Jeff Knowles, our City Development Services Director, coordinated this event, and so you and I together now will be looking at this event, seeing it for the first time. I do appreciate what Jeff had done on putting this together, and because I think it was a very successful time for us. So what we plan to do now is to show you the groundbreaking activities for the Bright Star Road Connector.
Well, I'd like to welcome everyone today. Before we get started, what we'd like to do is have Councilman John Schilderoff to do the invocation.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this momentous event that's going on today. Thank you, Lord, for giving us this fine weather that was a lot better than this morning. And Lord, just be with those that are going to construct this road. Lord, just keep them safe, keep them from harm, and let this help to develop the city of Douglasville. We thank you for everything you do and everything you give us, for it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you all for joining us today. And first, I want to thank each of you for attending today. I'm glad we're not doing this ribbon cutting, or we didn't do it this morning when it was about 20 degrees, but I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to be here, because this is an important transportation project for the city of Douglasville. And I do want to thank the Douglasville City Council for continuing their commitment to improving the transportation infrastructure here in the city of Douglasville. This government continues our commitment to maintain a high quality of life in Douglasville, and management of the transportation infrastructure is a major component in that process. Access roads parallel to interstates have proven to be true traffic relievers, and that's really what this road is. As we discussed and explored the possibilities of building the Bright Star Road Connector, it became obvious to us that the purchase of the right-of-way for the entire length of this 8/10 of a mile, it's 8/10 of a mile from Highway 5 over to Bright Star Road, was essentially cost prohibitive for the city of Douglasville. Now, through the gracious donations by two major landowners in this area, most of the right-of-way for this road was donated at no cost to the taxpayers. So today, on behalf of the city of Douglasville, I would like to thank Mr. Alex Conroy. Mr. Conroy, if you'll raise your hand, he's right here. with the Conroy Development Company and the estate of Marvin Nodvin for their right-of-way donations. Without their commitment, there would be no Bright Star Road connector. Working together for the common good of all who live in Douglasville is a worthy endeavor for all of us. Now, after the agreements for the road right-of-way acquisition or donations, Croy MSE won the bid to design and complete the engineering on this road. And then on August the 4th, 2008, the Douglasville City Council awarded to the low bidder, which was C.W. Matthews Contracting Company, a contract for $2,646,130.81 for construction of the Bright Star Road connector, as I said, that goes from State Route Highway 5 over to Bright Star Road. Now, this 4-lane road project will significantly reduce traffic congestion in this part of the city of Douglasville. And that was our original goal, and that continues to be our goal today. We expect the project to be complete by the latter part of calendar year 2009. In closing, let me once again thank each of you for joining us today. I thank all who have contributed to improve the transportation infrastructure here in the city of Douglasville. Thank you very much.
Mr. Croy, and I got not Callie with the chamber.
Don't we need to get everybody to line up back here?
Come on up here, big boy.
Yeah. Yeah, come on in here.
How you doing?
Come on in.
Come on, Dad. You get over here, buddy.
No. Okay. All right. All right.
No, we're good.
Somebody gonna count? All right.
Which way are we going to throw?
Straight ahead. All right. Okay, let's do it on 3. 1, 2, 3, throw. Thank you very much.
For the invitation.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Coast to coast, from Shoshone to Sierra, White Mountain to Davy Crockett. They're more than our national forests, they are national treasures. But they are being devastated by fire as never before. The Arbor Day Foundation asks for your help in replanting our national forests to help restore their life-giving benefits and awe-inspiring splendor. Visit arborday.org. See what we're doing. See how you can help.
Well, I hope you enjoyed seeing that video on the groundbreaking on the Bright Star Road connector. I know I've enjoyed watching it myself since I was not able to be there. Now we want to turn to a second project that we're focusing on today, and that is the City of Douglasville's Comprehensive Transportation Plan. Now, on Thursday, November 6th, we had a public information meeting at the city's downtown conference center. Had a nice crowd, especially considering that this was only 2 days after the general election. And we appreciate the individuals who came to that particular meeting. And tonight we want you to see what took place at that meeting. Now, the Douglas County Board of Commissioners and the Douglas County Department of Transportation has been working on a county-wide comprehensive transportation plan, and the city of Douglasville has been involved in that process. In fact, we are very supportive of most of the things that are in that plan that they've been working on, but there are a few projects that we feel like were not in what the city would consider its best interest, because obviously we're looking at things from the city's standpoint, while the county government obviously is looking at things from their particular standpoint. And we were together on most things, but there were a few projects that we did have some disagreements on, and we felt like that those needed to be addressed. And so what the city did was to take steps so that we would be able to have a separate City of Douglasville Comprehensive Transportation Plan. It'd be an independent attachment to the county-wide plan, which must be submitted to the Atlanta Regional Commission. And we had this public hearing on November 6th to give us an opportunity to present information to the public and also to receive input, comments, suggestions from people who came to that meeting. And we feel like that this was a very good meeting. We want you to see it tonight because we believe that there's some good information in it. And so after we take a break, when we come back, you'll be looking at the video of the City of Douglasville Public Information Meeting held on November 6th on our Comprehensive Transportation Plan. Hope you'll stay tuned.
My name's Marsha Hampton, Community and Downtown Services Director. My City TV is downtown.
Hey, new guy. Shovel, right?
Yeah, right. And I'm not exactly new. I've seen some action.
You're a shovel. Come on.
Oh, real nice coming from a rake. Ooh, get these heavy leaves off me. Hey, man, my last gig, I almost got electrocuted, nearly drowned, and went head-to-head with a metal pipe. That guy never called 811 to see if it was safe to dig.
It doesn't take the sharpest tool in the shed to call 811.
Our guy calls every time he digs. The mailbox, landscaping, the deck. Oh, man, that was a big
Oh,
job.
remember that?
Oh, that was a big one. Yeah, I remember.
Calls every time? Cool.
Calling 811 is so easy, any tool could do it. It's quick and easy. Calling 811 gets your underground utility lines marked for free. It makes every project safer for everyone. Calling 811 before digging prevents utility outages, legal hassles, and personal injury.
Hey, safe digging is no accident. Always call 811 before you dig.
It's a couple of minutes after 7, and since this was announced as a public information meeting starting at 7 o'clock, we'll go ahead and call this to order. Most of you, all of you have been back and have looked at the boards. I'm sure a reference will be made to those as we go through this. We appreciate the county providing some of these boards to us, and then we've got some that were prepared tonight by Jacobs for us. At this time, I'm going to call on Jeff Knowles, who's our Director of Development Services. He will make a presentation to you. After he finishes that, Michelle Wright, who's our Planning Director, will make comments. Following that, then I'll be back up and we'll move into the discussion part of the program. Thank you very much.
Once again, thank you for being here tonight. This has been a long process, as our fellows from the county can attest to. I'm going to learn how to use a new clicker tonight, so hold on one second. The Douglas County, I'm going to give you a little bit of background right now about the Douglas County Comprehensive Transportation Plan, which is in place right now. They're working on getting in place right now for a presentation to ARC. The plan elements include all of Douglas County, as well as the City of Douglasville, the portions of Austell that are in Douglas County, and the portions of Villa Rica that are also in Douglas County. It provides programs and projects, as you can see up there, for further development and funding. What this does is basically this is a living document that we keep adding to and taking away from as we get ready to complete projects and as priorities change. That is basically what the state looks at as one method for a funding source to help prioritize projects as money's tighter. The project or the plan that that we're putting in place will help to address the flow of traffic to and from and within the City of Douglasville. What that means is basically we're not a vacuum. Douglas County is not a vacuum. We have traffic that comes through here every day that originates in a different county and ends in a different county. People coming from Paulding, going to Fulton, Paulding, going to Cobb, There's a lot of different people coming through our community, and we had to look at that as we're addressing it, understanding that we're not a vacuum. And one of our focuses was on major mobility corridors as it's related to these improvements. Understanding where the people are coming from and where they're going to is how you identify these major mobility corridors. We also included automobile, transit, pedestrian, and bicycle modes in dealing with these, dealing with the comprehensive transportation plan. The city of Douglasville has been doing transportation for quite some time. This dates way before Arbor Place Mall was even constructed. We've done citywide planning studies. We've done corridor studies on a number of different corridors within the community. Presley Mill Road is one that comes to mind that we've done over the years. And our Livable Centers initiative helps us draw on projects that we believe are going to be what we need to enhance our transportation in this community. The organization of priorities is one of the things that we gathered from all of these studies that we had done before. We have a construction work program, a short-term work program that we use, and we had the 2007 SPLOST, which was another, I guess, effort in which we basically prioritized our projects. We looked at what we had going on, what we needed to have going on, and how we were going to prioritize those projects. That's some of the things that you're going to see later that Michelle is going to talk about when we get into our specific projects. Tonight's meeting, as Bill stated, we're here to provide input into the Douglas County Comprehensive Transportation Plan, and more specifically, the city's appendix to that plan, and provide more specific projects to meet the city's needs. We want to make sure that we included all the appropriate projects, and the city's priorities for implementation are in line with what we've heard in the past and what we continue to believe from our studies that we've done. Goals and objectives of the Douglas County Comprehensive Transportation Plan, which I'm going to get to in the next slide. The city and a lot of stakeholders within the community were heavily involved in the creation of these goals and objectives, and we're supportive and in agreement with the goals and objectives that were created from a lot of effort that went into it. Whenever you're going through these plans, it's very difficult to get a lot of people to agree on a very few specific items, and these goals and objectives, I know they're a little difficult to read up there, but the goals and objectives that we're going to go through are basically what the community, the stakeholders in the community, and the people involved in this comprehensive transportation plan believe that we needed to just basically stand by. The first goal: enhance safety and mobility for all travelers. That was one of the overwhelming goals that came up again and again as we're going through this process. That the objective is to promote multimodal facilities, provide safe and efficient transportation facilities, and prioritize and balance transportation projects with political and public support. That goes back to the funding mechanism. We need a lot of support for these things to make sure that they get off the ground and get constructed. The second goal, and I don't know that these goals were in any specific order. They were all very important, but these kind of how they came together. Preserve and protect the neighborhood integrity. The people within the community also believe that we don't need to be barreling down, tearing up neighborhoods to basically build new roads to move traffic through our community. We wanted to preserve the characteristics and aesthetics of the existing neighborhoods in this community. I think everybody agreed in the meetings that was very important to maintain the consistency with the comprehensive land use plan too. That comes way back from our comprehensive plans, not our comprehensive transportation plan, but our comprehensive plans, where we go through and we basically develop a plan for how our community should grow. That is the future land use plan, and that's one of the things we were very specific in protecting and trying to follow. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We're trying to use things that we've done before to ensure that we're in track with all the other planning documents that we've been through. Preserve the environment, connect to greenways and multi-use trails, identify priority environmental resources, And, you know, as you're doing transportation planning, as you're constructing roads, these things, if you're adding lanes, they're going to impact the environment. One of our greatest concerns was to make sure that our impact to the environment was minimal at best, and that we were very cognizant of our water quality and other things in the environment that were very sensitive. Promote economic development. A very useful tool is transportation planning and promoting economic development. If you build a road, they will come, most times. Not all times, but most times they will. We don't just build roads haphazardly, but history will tell us as roads have been created, that has spurred growth in other areas, specifically economic growth. And involve the public. That's what we're here for tonight. One of the most important things is to involve the public and let people know what's out there. What are our plans? What are our objectives? And get your opinion and hopefully move forward with this information. Get this in place so that as the state deals with their funding mechanisms, we're ready and on board and have a document that they can buy into. And I'm going to turn it over to Michelle to go through the recommendations. Isn't that button right there?
Okay, thank you.
Little bitty button.
Okay. Thank you, Jeff. The city has come up with their highest priority improvements, and their 10 highest priority improvements, which is the State Route 92 realignment and railroad grade separation. There's 3 projects there. The I-20 West managed lanes from State Route 6 to Bright Star Road. Lee Road at I-20 bridge upgrades. I-20 upgrades to accommodate managed lanes at Thornton Road, State Route 5 and Bright Star Road. Chapel Hill Road widening from Central Church Road to Stewart's Mill Road, and Timber Ridge Road widening and managed lane connection. Now these are the priority projects that were the 10 highest priority improvements that were given by the county on the county plan, and we wanted to bring that to your attention. Other projects of interest were the Doris Road improvements. The county had proposed to realign Doris Road to provide a continuous upgraded route from Paulding County to Bright Star Road at US 78 and a grade separation over the railroad at US 78. There were some State Route 5 corridor projects that were proposed by the county that the city would like to be studied and did not know if these projects were in the best interest of businesses, which is the county had proposed to change the State Route 5 designation and move the state route to Post Road. The county had also proposed to change I-20 access at State Route 5 to HOV only, which would only allow your carpools and buses and would not allow your single occupancy vehicles. And also to convert the planned I-20 HOV only access along Bright Star Road to allow full access, which is basically looking at your interchange, having full access at Bright Star, but not full access at State Route 5. And these were the areas that the city was not in full agreement with the county on. We're looking at providing additional project recommendations. We want to build on major mobility corridors, provide additional local connections, and further enhance the bicycle and pedestrian movement in this area. And we do have a bicycle and pedestrian plan in the back there if you'd like to take a look at it. And we have one showing existing and then one showing proposed routes. The key city corridors are the State Route 92 widening and railroad grade separation. The study, we'd like to study the western bypass to connect the State Route 92 to the Comprehensive Transportation Plan Mobility Corridor along Doris Road to Bright Star Road alignment. the study of State Route 5 widening or other improvements to enhance mobility in the Arbor Place Mall area. So we do recommend studying the State Route 5 corridor and taking a look at it. The Douglas Boulevard extension west to Post Road and east to Midway Road is another option that the city is looking at. There are comment sheets in the back there. If you'd like to fill them out from tonight's meeting, you can fax them to us, you can mail them to us, or email them to us, or you can put them in the box there. We hope that you'll take a look at this plan and give us some comments on it. We would like to get them in by the November 13th date. And if you need any contact information, you can contact me, Michelle Wright, at City Hall, and the fax number and email is up there. We'll be taking comments and questions now, and then we'll also be available afterwards if you'd like to take a look at the boards and for answering any questions on the plan.
Thank you, Michelle and Jeff. Before we open it for questions, a couple of other comments. When Michelle is referring to State Route 5, she's referring to the road which is currently State Route 5, which is also known as Bill Arp Road. So if you look at those slides where we're talking about State Route 5, that's also known as Bill Arp Road. I would like to say that we have had several meetings with county representatives over the last 3+ months. The mayor and city council have passed, I think, 4 resolutions just stating where they were as we went through this process and what we were supporting on what was being presented, and then the items that Michelle mentioned that we were not in support of, feeling like they needed to have more study. Now, one reason that we're meeting tonight, and Michelle is saying that please get your comments in by the 13th, is that the Atlanta Regional Commission basically has given Mr. Hulsey, the county, a date in which they want to hear the report on the Douglas County proposed plan. And I believe that, Randy, is what, the 20th of November? 21st. So that's the reason that we wanted to go ahead and schedule this meeting, even though it was right after the election day, because all of us are trying to finalize things. The county with the comprehensive transportation plan, the city with the appendix that we would provide to that plan. The final comment that I want to make as we open it up is that as we have had conversations with the county, and as Jeff and Michelle have mentioned, and I mentioned, we were able to see that we were on the same page on virtually everything. Goals and objectives, and most all the projects. Obviously, we in the city have a little different perspective on certain projects than the county does. They're looking at things from a county-wide basis. We're looking at things basically from a city-wide basis. And so there may be some projects that we would look at that would be of a higher priority to us than the county might see looking at on a county-wide basis. We did agree when we met the last time, of course, that we would we'd be having. They knew that we'd be having this public information meeting tonight. The county and its consultants are working. We're working with our consultants, and in the next few days, we will see if we have any remaining issues to deal with, or whether we have reached agreement on all of these. Now, when I say reached agreement, that doesn't mean, for example, on the Highway 5, be it Post Road, be it Bill Arp, be there one Highway 5, be there a Highway 5 and a Business 5 or a Truck Route 5 or whatever it may be. That doesn't mean that we've reached the final decision on that. What it means is that we recognize that we probably need to give more study, city-county joint study, and then come out at some point with whatever the conclusions would be. Having said that, we'll open for questions or comments, so if you just raise your hand, and I'll be glad to call on you, and we'll see if we can move along. Yes, sir.
The plans that are proposed here, you're looking for funding to do these, or have funds been available for some of these projects already?
If you look, and you're holding up the city sheet, and I should have mentioned this earlier, basically these project recommendations that you have on this sheet, and we have 21 that are numbered. We did not put a priority listing on these because we'll see what you tell us tonight. Now, some of these, if you start at the top, the city and the county have been working on the state 92 realignment for a long time. We have spent in the city somewhere between $2.5 to close to $3 million in dealing with engineering and environmental, so that the Georgia Department of Transportation is supposed to do the right-of-way acquisition and construction. This is probably, what, a $75 million project with a grade separation and everything. So that is an ongoing project that we've spent virtually all the money that we're looking to spend on the engineering and the environmental work, but the funding now would be from GDOT as to what it would do. The next, if you look down on Chapel Hill Road, that project, we're looking at some aspects of that at this time, and if you look down, you will see number 6, the Bright Star Road Connector. That project is under construction. So there are some of these projects that have been funded but have not been done. Others, we're hopeful at some point, obviously, to have the funding for these. But this is not a chart that's showing the financial status of anything, but just showing what we're looking at is the city's priorities, as Jeff said, based on our short-term work program and other studies that have been done in the past.
If you were to receive funding for these projects, what is the length of time between receipt of the funds and actually the beginning of construction?
It's usually a long process that you have to go through. Probably if we could get a major project done in 5 years, Randy, we'd think that was on a fast track. It's, you know, and it depends, like I say, on the Highway 92 relocation from near the northern city limits to down near Chick-fil-A. We've been working on that project from the city for more than 10 years. But there are some projects that have moved along much quicker than that. But it does take a long time to get a project done. Other questions?
I have a question. You had a couple slides back, you had a listing of projects that you were not in agreement with the county with, and one of them was the HOV land, I think it was. I think it's down there.
Yeah, we feel like there's needs more study on this. This is a complicated issue, and what the county is saying, what's there now may not work best, and we're saying we agree with that, but we're not sure what the best answer is. That if our concern is that if you took Bill Arp Road and changed that into an HOV only, that would have serious ramifications for the businesses on current Highway 5 Bill Arp Road. I think all of us recognize, though, that as traffic increases, we've got to look at what might we do. And we will be looking at what connections might be between Bill Arp Road, Bright Star Road. As I mentioned, we just started construction of the Bright Star Road Connector, which runs between Highway 5, kind of right near where Sam's Walmart, over to Bright Star Road as a way to help alleviate some of the pressure. And so I think all of us are concerned, well, how do you alleviate the pressure on those interchanges and move traffic looking ahead 25 years as to what would need to be done?
Okay, my question is, because of the fact that you folks are not recommending those changes to the county, will they listen to you and incorporate what you want, or is that a negotiation? Or because you're the little guy and they're bigger, are they just going to discount you? How does that process work?
Well, what we have sought with the county, and Mr. Halsey behind you is Director of the County Department of Transportation. I'm not going to put him on the spot other than saying that we've met several times, and at our last meeting, I think we were looking at the fact that since we're not in agreement, and this is a very complicated issue, that we do need perhaps more study as to exactly what the best solution is. We all recognize there's a problem, and we all recognize that the solution will be somewhat complicated. We're just not sure yet how all the pieces would fit, and we've pledged to be working on that to come up with an answer.
Okay, so those are proposals at this point. That's not cast in stone to change I-20 access at State Road 5 to HOV only. I mean, that's not in the plan. And if it isn't, and how does it get in the plan? I think it's an unrealistic expectation that changing that would happen. I think it's silly, honestly. But once again, I agree there's a problem with that intersection, but making it an HOV only is not the solution. My concern is if that makes it into the plan, does it go ahead and be created and done that way, and then we have to look at it again later and spend more money changing it again?
Well, the purpose tonight is to get public input, and I'm not going to presuppose what the county will do in its plan. They're hearing what will be said tonight. We'll be making a report to them. Like I say, I think we all are looking for what is the answer. And though at this point we might have different views on how you get to that answer, I think we recognize that it is complicated, and we need to be working more to come up with what would be the best possible answer. But your input is valuable, and I know that Michelle, if you take, now, would you want to take a talk? But before you, just want to be sure, though, everybody should have a comment sheet, and we would hope that you would take seriously writing down those comments, because we will seriously look at what you put down. Anything else? Okay.
I was just interested in, unlike the lady over here, I've never heard of an HOV access lane to an interstate. Is there any place in Atlanta that has practiced this, and does it work?
There is some off-ramps, if you recall, for HOV only on and on-ramps on the 75 corridor. And so there is some only off-ramps and on-ramps.
You remember where
the bus with the baseball players went over, they were getting on an off-ramp. Aviation Boulevard, and there's some downtown. So there is, and there's other areas of the country that does do that. When we had looked at it, we were just concerned because of the businesses there and the access. However, the HOV lane is proposed for the Bright Star Road area as it stands now, if that makes it any clearer to you.
One of the problems that all of us have, as does the state, is that there's the distance between the current Highway 5 bridge, the ramps, and the Bright Star Road. Whatever you look at there, if you're looking, there's not a sufficient distance between there to meet the federal minimum distance requirements. So what the GDOT agreed to 2 or 3 years ago now was to put in HOV ramps at the Bright Star Road, and that's what's on the books now. What the county was saying, we need to look at what we might do in a change, and we're saying we need more study, and we think that we'll be looking at more study, hopefully.
What's the cycle of transportation project planning? In other words, is this something that if you chose to wait and review it further, that you would have to wait 5 more years before you resubmitted this, or is this an annual process?
The plan that we're doing now, this is actually the first time in the metro region that the Atlanta Regional Commission has provided money for the counties to do, each county to do a plan and for the cities to participate. So they have not stated a cycle as of yet that you have to update it every 5 years or annually. most city and county governments do updates when they feel necessary. They don't necessarily have to wait for what is required by the Department of Community Affairs or the Atlanta Regional Commission, if that answers your question.
Yeah, there's been some reports in the media about the state freezing right-of-way acquisition for projects that are on the books. And I'm not asking you to speak for the state, and of course there's a lot of projects across the entire state of Georgia, but because the Highway 92 realignment directly affects us and you consider it a priority, has that funding for that project been allocated already? Is that project on hold as far as the second and third phases are concerned?
Let me make two general comments, and then Michelle comment if she wishes. That I think all of us recognize that the state government itself has a lot of financial problems. So do many local governments, and we're looking carefully at our own situation, and I know Douglas County is also. So while GDOT is not the only state agency that is having to deal with revenue problems, theirs seem to be more pronounced, at least insofar as what's been stated by the department officials themselves. They have taken certain steps. Mr. Hulsey could tell you about what the problems that they've got with their Lee Road project. At the moment, the Highway 92 relocation project is active, as are many others. It is under review on what they're calling their prioritization process. Sometimes we hear that it's on the bubble. Sometimes we hear that it looks reasonably good. The short answer is I don't know that they have reached that point. They have delayed making a decision from early fall to the end of the year to now sometime in early 2009. So once the Georgia General Assembly gets back in session in January and the politics starts with concerning road projects in GDOT, if you're a betting man, I'd look for something else to bet on rather than specifically what might happen there. But I think all of us recognize that any major project, at least in terms of timeliness on moving ahead, is a gamble in terms of saying, yeah, we believe that's going to happen. Michelle, Randy, any about the status, I guess, isn't it?
You're exactly correct. We're probably not going to know anything until sometime in the first quarter of next year.
Other questions?
The news, on the television news tonight, that there's an audit from the governor's desk that shows that the DOT has greatly overstated their funds, even more than they had said, billions of dollars.
Well, that's a complicated issue. I think and I wouldn't try to get into who's right and who's wrong or whose audit shows what. I think it is safe to say that they've got a multitude of problems at GDOT, and the people that are in charge will be making decisions based on how they interpret whatever information they are looking at, and local governments will end up catching the brunt of whatever happens, because if you look at when they start talking about cutting back, most of what they start talking about cutting back are programs that really assist local governments. At the same time, they're talking about different kind of caps on local governments. So we all have concerns as to what we will be able to do in the next, in the near-term future. Okay, I don't want to prolong you being here. I'm going to give, let me make one statement and we'll go around. I see a hand up again. When we get through, Michelle, Jeff, myself, our consultants will be here. Randy, can you and Kerry stay for a few minutes? And what you have over these 3 or 4 posters over here are what we're looking at from the city's appendix that would be to the county plan. Most of those others back through there are the county-wide plan, which of course, as Jeff said, that we think the goals and objectives, and most everything you will find we feel like is good and supportive of. They do have their list of projects, but some other diagrams. We have a joint city-county bike pedestrian task force that Michelle staffs. But take a look at that, and staff will be here for any questions that you may have. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I think it sounds like my question is going to be for Michelle. I'm a big proponent of the sidewalk bicycle multi-use. Are you comfortable that what's presented here is the best that we can do for Douglasville as far as sidewalks and bicycles? I come from a community that had that, and I moved here like 3 years ago, and I was a little disappointed, honestly, as to what Douglasville had to offer from a pedestrian standpoint. So that is a big concern of mine, and it is a thriving community of families, of young families, and health and exercise and all that fun stuff. Are you comfortable that what you have in the plan will meet those needs?
I think that we are. If you look directly behind you, 1, 2, 3, the fourth one over shows some existing that we've done, those green lines in the downtown area, and we've done quite a bit in the and probably more than most communities. I'm not sure what you're referring to. I know there's some great pedestrian areas in Denver and in Seattle and in California, but I think we've done a great job in doing connectivity and putting the pedestrian areas in. We also worked on this plan, the Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee, for about a year, and the City Council has, it's been brought to them and adopted, and I think we're really pleased with it. And we've received quite a bit of funding through a variety of different projects, our LCI and CMAQ, to put these into place.
Let me do two additional comments. One, if you have specific suggestions or pinpointing identifications where you feel like we need to look at sidewalks, by all means, please let us know. And Michelle may tell me that the map legend answers what I'm about to say, but in addition to what we have on the ground at this time, there are some other projects that have been approved and are in the process. When you ask how long does it take to do a road project, if we're in a sidewalk project going through what has to be done with Atlanta Regional Commission and the Georgia Department of Transportation, at 5-year figures, probably about the same on a sidewalk project in terms of an average.
And one more question related to that, but you may not have the answer to this, is once again, the community I came from before, in South Florida, by the way, all developments are required to put in sidewalks in all of their developments. Is that something that Douglas County has? I don't know.
Yes, we do. When our new subdivisions come in, they do have a sidewalk requirement in our commercial developments. So they are connecting, and we're seeing it in a lot of subdivisions.
Michelle was answering from the city, and I don't know, Randy, if what the state. Okay, so we do have now those requirements in both local governments. Okay, thank you very much for being here. As I say, we will be back, and I'm going to give my two cohorts here a chance to walk back, and Jeff and Richard, you don't have to head to Gwinnett County quite yet if you can be back. And so we'd be glad to respond to any additional questions. Thank you for being here.
Check it out, man.
What is that?
It looks like someone's belly. Probably lost it walking on the beach.
Man, just leave it. Let's go.
I hope you enjoyed that video that was produced by City TV. Following that public information meeting on November the 6th, with the comments we received and following a couple of other discussions by the mayor and members of the city council, the city government on November the 17th adopted a City of Douglasville Comprehensive Transportation Plan. And we have submitted that to the Atlanta Regional Commission. We've provided a copy of it to the Douglas County government. And as I mentioned earlier, it will be an independent attachment to the countywide plan, which will be submitted to the Atlanta Regional Commission. Now, in the coming weeks, we expect representatives of the Douglas County government and the City of Douglasville government to have some additional discussions about those few areas in which we did not have a consensus. And these include where the location might be for a western bypass that would be on the northwestern side of the City of Douglasville. Also, some questions on how Highway 5 will be designated in the future, whether it would be Bill Arp Road, whether it might be moved to Post Road, whether current Highway 5 might be Business Highway 5, and several questions along those lines. And also looking at the interchange, the city feels strongly about maintaining the I-20 Highway 5 interchange that we currently have, but we're willing to look at what might be done on connecting that interchange and a possible new interchange at the Bright Star Road. So there are several issues that we'll continue to work on with our colleagues at the county. And we'll be reporting to you on this later, but we appreciate you being with us for this episode of On the Agenda. I'll be talking about some other transportation topics within the next few weeks, and so we'll need to bring you up to date on a few other transportation topics. But let me, at this time, before I sign off, simply point out that as we near the end of 2008, I've prepared a program that will be our next episode of On the Agenda, and it will be what I consider to be the top 10 things that happened in city government during calendar 2008, so I hope you will join me for that program also. Signing off, this is Bill Osborne, City Manager.